The season of isolation, man. Yo, when I tell y'all this is what I'm going through right now. Now, prior to me being in my season of isolation before, I used to think that this was it. Once I go through my season of isolation, that's it. I just gotta conquer it, get through it. I was sadly mistaken because your seasons of isolation come in seasons. And I thought maybe it was just a one time thing, but no, it literally comes in seasons. So you will have these periods of time in your life. Now, each season, it looks differently. No one season of isolation looks exactly the same, but what I will say is they may share some of the same characteristics. Maybe not everything to the T, but somewhere along the lines. During your season of isolation, this is a time where God is going to put you through the ringer. When I tell you you're going to lose family, you're going to lose friends, you're going to lose maybe even jobs, opportunity, finances, everything that you can possibly think of during this time. And essentially, your first thought might be like, why is God putting me through all of this? Like, why do I have to go through these things in order to grow a closer relationship with God? We should never look at our season of isolation in a negative connotation because honestly, being in the season of isolation is actually a really good thing. It basically tells us that God is convicting us and He's moving us to a greater path, and somewhere along the lines that's going to be putting us in a position to be our best self, to be the woman or the man of God that He called you to be. And this relates to anyone in any age category. So, me currently, and in my personal situation, being in my season of isolation, man, I was losing friends. I lost job opportunities. My finances were struggling, transportation, everything that you can possibly think of. And it puts you literally in this isolation and you're by yourself and you feel like I'm in this alone. Like it's just me. But it's important to like change your thinking and know that you're not alone, that you're with God. God is with you. So I used to keep thinking like, oh my goodness, like God, if you love me, if I'm your child, why are you testing me? Why are you putting me through so much pain, trials and tribulations just so that I can prove my love to you, so that I can prove my faith to you? Like, how is that love? But in all reality, everything has to crash and burn before it can become greater, before it can become a blessing that you never knew was even possible. And I wrestled with this because I'm just like, I didn't understand that how going through so much all the time. And if you're like me personally, who lived a life full of trials and tribulation, you like thinking like, God, when is it enough? Like I'm tired. I'm physically, mentally, emotionally, I'm spiritually tired. And like it's like you just keep giving it to me, keep giving it to me, and I'm just supposed to take it and I'm just supposed to keep coming to you and keep running to you. But in all seriousness, in reality, it's not as easy as it seems, because when you're constantly going through affliction and you're constantly struggling and you're constantly trying to walk by faith and you're trying to grow a deeper relationship with Him and you're trying to, essentially be the person He's calling you to be, it kind of puts you in a position to make you feel crazy. Like, I can't believe that all this is happening in order for me to be blessed. But God says you are enough, and I'm not going to put you through things that I know you can't handle. And ultimately, some of the things that we go through in a season of isolation isn't always God testing us. It could literally just be our whole world crashing and burning in order to push us in a direction that we need to be pushed. And a lot of the times we subject ourselves to things, places, and people that are hindering us from being the person that God is calling us to be. So in order for us to be that person, we need to separate ourselves. When you're going through your season of isolation and you're growing that deeper connection with God, when I tell you that going through that, it like singles you out. And you'll notice the people around you even try to steer away from you, but it also opens your mind and it opens your spirit, and you're able to see things and know things and things that were going to be open to you that weren't apparent to you before. So it's just imperative to just keep pushing through and keep remaining strong. And I struggle with it, and I'm currently struggling with it. Like, it's easier to talk about, but it's harder to actually carry out, because when you're constantly going through things, you like, sometimes it makes you don't want to grow close to God. It makes you not want to do it because simply because it's so hard, and you just like, it's a never ending battle trying to grow a relationship with God. Like, it's day in and day out. It's a fight every single day. And when you finally get to a point where you're like, I can do this, I can do this, every day, something new, something new. And it gets to a point where you're like, God, this is hindering me. Like, I'm trying to draw close to you, but it's just so much trial and tribulation behind it that is pushing me away. I'm going through so much in my day to day that I don't want to read. I don't want to pick up my word. I don't want to pray, because it just feels like a personal attack towards me. And even though it may be some of that and may not be, God doesn't, like, he's not intentionally hurting us. He's just giving us that push into the direction that he needs for us. So when I think of this, it brings me to a scripture in 1 John. In 1 John chapter 5, verse 19, it says that we know that we are from God, and the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. So we know that God has us and he has our back through it all. And this world is in subjection to the evil one. He's the ruler and the controller of everything evil and malicious in this world. So when we're going through these things, a lot of the times that he likes to tempt us, he likes to put us in situations to draw us away, because he knows that pain and struggle essentially has the biggest influence to separate God's children from him. Because when you're constantly born into affliction and it's carrying out for years and years and years, the enemy likes, he knows that it's going to get to a point where you're like, look, I can't do this anymore. And then he capitalizes on that. So it's very imperative and very important to just remain strong and to keep going. And me personally, this is something that I'm doing now, because I just feel like some days it feels unbearable. Like, I can't do this. But in reality, I can do this, and I'm going to do this, because the more that I start thinking, oh, I need to back away from God, is when I need to pull closer. And like I said, it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard work. Being a believer is hard work. When God convicts you in this season of isolation and he changes your mind, changes your action, changes the way that you go about things, it'll start to be open to you. And you'll start to be able to see things for yourself and know that God is moving with you, so that when he brings you into your season of blessings, you're ready for it. Because he can't just give you a blessing and you're not ready for the blessing, because then ultimately you may ruin that and it may not end up being a blessing. And then who are you going to blame? God? You're going to blame Satan? So when actuality, it's you messed it up for yourself. So it's just important to just be patient and be understanding when you're going through your season of isolation. And guys, I will always tell you, the devil is a liar. When you start having them negative thoughts and thinking like, this is too much, I can't do it, go harder, fast, pray, worship, do what you need to do to get yourself out of that mindset. Because once you start dwelling on it, the enemy will start using that as like food to keep getting you and getting to you and getting to you and getting to you, to the point where it makes you actually want to start pulling away from God. And ultimately, we know that's the end goal for the enemy. So you got to fight him. You got to put on your spiritual armor, and you got to just ordeal your season of isolation. So with that being said, I love you guys. Stay blessed, and remember, stay strong in your season of isolation. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.